Yep.
So big first win.
Yeah.
As your first game as head coach at Boston College, how's it feel when it's big come against the defending ACC champs?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, look, these guys in that locker room, they've put a lot of work into this in the off season. From winter conditioning to spring practice to summer practice to training camp. So, I'm very proud of these guys. They were resilient tonight to come down here against a team that really was, really in their minds, I'm sure had to have this win. That's a heck of a statement for BC, but it's just one win. It's only one. So we have to understand that, and we've got to be able to handle success, as well as we handled adversity tonight. You know what I mean? Handle in the same way. So, but we're on the right track. That's for sure.
You might be able to- Trayshawn Ward, obviously, it's come back here. He used to be here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that big for him coming into the game, wanting to be a big part of it?
Yeah. I mean, he's Florida State, then Kansas State. He's found a home here at BC. He's a grad student, very bright guy. Practices very hard. Has a very business-like approach to everything that he does. Does a lot in the community, just like a lot of these guys do. So look, I think he's a good fit for BC. We wish we had him for longer. We only have him for this season, but he had a good day today behind an offensive line that really paved the way tonight.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we'll go to questions from Zoom. We'll start with Dan Rubin.
Coach, 263 yards on the ground, and 5 yards per carry. What was it about the offensive line in particular that helped plow that for three guys, to get 70 yards individual?
Yeah, I think they communicated well. I think they knew the game plan very well. They were very well prepared by Matt Applebaum and Will Lawing. They did a really good job. The offensive staff did a really good job. The defensive staff did a really good job. The special team staff did a good job, and the players were able to carry out that they executed, which was the key. And again, Boston College, has to be known for its offensive line. We have a great tradition of offensive linemen here, and hopefully these guys can keep that going. They started off on a good note tonight.
Kevin Stone.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you, Kevin.
The drive after Florida State made it 21-13, you guys responded right away. What did you see in that drive, and just how important was that? It felt like the turning point in the game.
Yeah, that was a drive. You're right. That was a drive where we had to answer. They were on a little bit of a roll there, and that's always a big drive. That type of drive is big in every close game I've ever been associated with. You have to have an answer drive, and so our guys did a good job. We ran the ball quite a bit on that drive, and I thought the offensive line really established themselves during that drive, and give those guys a lot of credit.
Trevor Haas.
Hey, Bill, you've really preached poise and consistency throughout camp. Just how about the ability to not turn the ball over and only have one penalty all night?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. Even the penalty was, I think it was on JJ. He just got a little too close to the returner. He was down there very fast, which was a good thing to see. We'll fix that. But yeah, I thought they played with poise. Even at the end there, I thought Neto Okpala did a great job of not retaliating against something that happened to him. So I think that's got to be a big key for us moving forward. We've got to be a disciplined football team. We've got to be a team that plays with poise, a resilient team. I believe I have a very strong belief that helps you win football games.
Saurabh, go ahead.
You talked about quick decision making, quick throws for Tommy all off season. What do you think about Tommy tonight?
Look, I thought he managed the game very well. He's a very dynamic player. I think the key for us this year with him, in the offseason was to say, look, here's some things you can improve on: footwork, taking care of the ball, reading coverages, understanding obviously our offensive scheme, protections, and things like that. He's done a really good job of that, and he has to stay consistent with that throughout the year, because like I said in the very beginning, it's only one game. It's a look. I'm not trying to take anything away from the win. It's a very important win for BC and where we're at, but it's just one game, and he really played well in the game. He's got to keep that going.
Go to Tom Carroll.
Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. So you keep talking about it's one game, but you've mentioned to us before, for the city of Boston to really buy in on BC football, you need to win and you need to build a winner. And to get this just one game in this environment, in this spotlight, it's just a huge win for the program. So how do you build off this momentum? I know you have the short week for Duquesne, but then you have Missouri shortly after that. How do you harness what you got here in this big win and keep moving?
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? How do we do that? And I think what we do is we take it basically one process at a time. Really, I'm being honest with you. We got to, get on the bus here, get on the plane, get back at 4:30 in the morning, get some sleep, make sure that we recover tomorrow, and understand that, we got to get back to, class on Wednesday. We got to get back to a lot of different things. And, just take it really. I know it sounds cliche, but really that's what I preach is one day at a time. Doesn't matter. You got to take it one day at a time and really just be disciplined enough in every facet of your life, whether it's academically, football wise, or in the community. We've got to be able to get back and get back to work and have a good couple of days before, Duquesne comes rolling in here.
Graham, go ahead.
Yeah, coach, I know this is not something that is concerned with what's going on the field, but one thing that was really noticeable to us reporters tonight was the just absolutely overwhelming support from alumni of the BC football program on Twitter and social media tonight. We saw people from Doug Flutie to Matt Ryan, Zay Flowers, Christian Mahogany, AJ Dillon, Justin Simmons, you name it. Anybody just tweeting out pretty much constantly throughout the game. I know that's not something you're necessarily concerned with at all right now. But does this surprise you for the program getting all these people to come back and really reach out in that sort of respect? And have you heard from these guys more often?
I've spoken to a lot of guys in the off season. I think pretty much every guy that you just mentioned I've spoken to. Zay, I actually met when I was with the Patriots getting ready for the draft. We brought him in for a pre-draft visit, and all those guys are awesome. We have great alums at BC. I have great friends. I got text today from, good luck text from Mike Panos, from Stephen Boyd, from Tom McManus, guys from my era, that were awesome players here at Boston College when they won. These guys take a lot of pride in BC, and I think that's part of what we have to do. We've got to play to that pride, and BC's had a lot of good football players over the years, and we have to be consistent in our approach every single day and try to continue to make them proud.
All right, we'll go to Brett and then to Mac.
Congratulations on the first win. I'm sure that's exactly how you drew it up. Can you kind of talk about, you guys come out the second half, get the interception and then turn that into a touchdown to extend the lead. Can you talk about kind of what the, your guys' thought process was kind of coming out? That's
Yeah, I think we did a good job. We talked a lot about halftime and our halftime process over the last couple of weeks in preparation for the season. Making sure that the coaches we meet first, talk about the adjustments we need to make, maybe a kind of a call sheet for the second half in all three phases. Present that to the players. Talk to the players about what they need to go, to get done on the first drive, what plays they can expect, things like that. And then Max Tucker comes up with a huge play, and that was probably one of the biggest plays of the game because that really got us going in the second half. And I think, again, you talk about a guy like Max Tucker, Catholic Memorial, Boston guy, really tough, good football player, really what BC's all about. I was really happy that he got that play because he's a very, very hardworking guy that just has a lot of pride in playing for BC.
All right, go to Zach.
Hi, Coach O'Brien. So
Sounds so excited, Zach.
anyways,
Just kidding.
your first win, being a huge upset against Florida State, a team that was, considered by some to be, snubbed out of the playoffs last year. How do you feel about that being your first win as a head coach at BC?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really good win, Zach. I'm proud of the guys. I'm very proud of them, but it's really just one game. It really is. Like we have 11 games left, and we have to divide it up. We talk to these guys a lot about 12 one-game seasons. That's how we have to approach it. I talk to them a lot about it's not like baseball where there's 162 games or basketball there's 82 games, hockey 82 games in the pros. There's only 12 opportunities. So we have to do a good job of trying to take advantage of every single day, every single preparation, and then every single game. And I think that's going to be very important for us. But I'm very proud of the guys and the way they played tonight. No doubt about it.
All right, Mac, go ahead.
Hey, coach, congrats to you and your team. Just
Thank you, Matt.
could you talk about the physicality of your team? I mean, it really was evident you were able to dominate on both sides of the ball, and really, it looked like you guys had the experience of a couple games, not being your first game, being able to get, tackle really well and get to the ball. Can you just speak to the physicality of your team and being prepared?
Yeah, that was a big part of the game plan. I think the number one key on defense was to be able to tackle in space, and I thought our guys did a great job of that. The first guy in got these guys on the ground. There's some great athletes at Florida State, and I thought our guys did a really good job of tackling in space, and that was a big key. That'll be a big key for us the rest of the year. Ball security, taking care of the ball on offense, which we did a decent job of that, and then tackling on defense. That's going to be a big deal moving forward, and I thought they started off doing a good job of that.
All right, we get time for two more. Dan, and then we'll go to finish it up with Tom Carroll.
Coach, the Florida State offense came in, with its issues, for lack of a better term, from last week. But what was it that this defense from you were able to do that really forced them into a box, made them one-dimensional, and forced them, obviously, with the long drive to get going?
I thought our front played really well, and I think that in combination with the pressure we were able to get, and then our coverage was good, and Tim mixed the calls up, which was really good. And then I thought, we did a good job stopping a run, right? I don't think they might have rushed for maybe 30 or 40 yards. And so we did a great job of that. And again, that's something that we're going to have to continue to do. That's my biggest concern, guys. I'm just be honest with you. This is a great win. It's an awesome win for BC, but we got to turn the page, because we got to keep it going. It's only game one. And I think that's a big, big point that I'm going to stress to these guys as we travel back to Beantown.
Tom,
Coach, my question was going to be about Tim Lewis and the game plan he put together. Obviously, the defense came up huge tonight. Seemed like you guys were really focused on forcing DJ to throw the ball out to the boundary, and it seemed like they weren't able to get that offense going. Just talk a little bit about how important it is to have a guy like Tim Lewis on your staff as you're kind of establishing a new culture at Boston College.
Yeah, Tim's a great guy. He does a really good job of connecting with the players. He's a good teacher. They have a lot of confidence in him and his staff. He's got really good guys underneath him with Danny O'Brien, Ray Brown, and Jeff Commissione, and then the GAs and the analysts. We have Tito Pasqualoni and Tom Jerkovic, Will Blackman. We've got a strong defensive staff, and we got good defensive players. And so that combination, we've got to keep that going. The communication between the coaches and the players in a lot of different facets, led by Tim, has been really good, and we've got to keep that's got to sustain week in and week out.